All right, let's talk about office chairs. You get that big box, you're all excited, and then you open the manual. It's something else, right? So think of this as the real manual, the one that should have been in the box all along. We're going to cover how to build it without losing your mind, how to actually use all those knobs and levers, and how to make sure it doesn't start wobbling in 6 months. So have you ever had this happen? You finally finish building a brand new chair, and it just feels, well, broken. You spent, what, an hour with that tiny little Allen key deciphering diagrams that look like ancient hieroglyphics? You stand back, feeling all proud, and then you sit down, and it's wobbly. Or even worse, it feels like it's trying to launch you onto the floor. It's so frustrating, right? It makes you think, did I do this completely wrong? Well, here's the thing. It's not you. I promise. See, you're a logical person. You're used to things that make sense, that follow a clear order. But cheap furniture manuals, they just, they often defy all logic. So that's what we're here to do. Let's fix that right now. All right, Section 1, the No Frustration Assembly Guide. We're going to get into the secrets the manual just happens to leave out. Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole guide, let it be this. This is the golden rule of building office chairs. Are you ready? Do not fully tighten any bolt until all the bolts for that section are at least started in their holes. I'll say it again. Get them all started first, then tighten. Why? It's all about the wiggle room. You need that little bit of play to get everything lined up perfectly. If you crank one bolt down too early, trust me, nothing else will line up. And that's where the frustration begins. So the actual process is pretty straightforward when you know the trick. First, you'll build the foundation. That's just popping the wheels or casters into the base and dropping the gas lift in. Easy. Then comes the important part, attaching the armrests to the backrest. But remember, leave those bolts loose. Then you connect those arms to the seat. Once everything is connected, then you can tighten all those arm bolts down. After that, you bolt on that big metal plate to the bottom of the seat. And for the big finish, you just lower the whole seat assembly onto the gas lift and take a seat to lock it in place. Done!
And here's a pro tip that really hammers home that golden rule. When you're doing the armrests, you want them loose enough that the parts can still kind of wiggle around. Seriously, that little bit of play is your best friend. It's what lets you line up the holes on the seat without having to wrestle with it. It's the secret to a fight-free assembly.
Okay, pay attention to this one, because this is the #1 mistake people make. It's the reason so many new chairs feel like they're trying to dump you out. It's all about the mounting plate orientation. If you put it on backwards with that big tension knob facing the backrest, you've got it wrong. It messes up the whole balance. The right way is to have that knob facing the little front sticker on the bottom of the seat. Get this one step right, and I promise you it's a completely different chair. All right, your chair is built. It's solid, it's not trying to eject you. Success. But now, how do you actually use the thing? Come on, be honest. Most of us just set the height one time and then we never touch another lever or knob again. But you're missing out. Those controls are the key to making the chair actually comfortable. So here's a quick guide to what everything does. That lever on the right is your main control. If you pull up on it while you're standing up, the seat goes up. Pull up while you're sitting, it goes down. Simple. Now that same lever, if you push it in, it locks the tilt so you can't lean back. Pull it out, and you can rock. And that big knob underneath the front, that's your tension control. Turn it clockwise to make it harder to lean back, and counterclockwise to loosen it up. Just mess around with it until it feels perfect for you. Now, what's the goal for your seat height? The magic number is 90 degrees. You want to adjust your chair so that your feet are flat on the floor and your knees are bent at about a 90-degree angle. That's the sweet spot for good posture and less strain on your back, especially if you're sitting for a long time. So, you've done everything right, but what about long term? How do you stop that slow, creeping wobble from taking over your chair after a few months? You know what I'm talking about. Well, turns out the fix is super simple. Just think of it as a simple tune-up schedule. You do the main assembly on day 1, obviously. Then, just once every 6 months, you give it a quick checkup. That's it. Put a reminder in your phone or your calendar. This tiny bit of effort will keep your chair feeling solid and new for years. And what does this tune-up involve? It's literally a 2-minute job. First, find that Allen key you probably threw in a drawer and just tighten up the 4 big bolts under the seat. Then, give the armrest bolts a little snug up too. Over time, just from you moving around, they vibrate a little bit loose. And hey, while you're down there, check the wheels. Pull out any hair or gunks that's gotten tangled up in there. That's the whole tune-up. Okay, so let's wrap this all up. The main takeaway here is simple.
It's the manual, not you. If you've ever felt like you were just terrible at building furniture, I really hope this shows you that it was never about you. Your hardware is finally in sync. Because this is what it all comes down to, right? You're a smart person who's used to systems that follow logic, but these cheap furniture manuals, they just defy logic. They leave out the most important stuff. So no, you weren't failing. The instructions were failing you. But now you've followed a process that actually makes sense, and the result? Your hardware is finally synced with a user interface, which is you. Your chair is now set up to work with you, not against you, and that's a great feeling. And it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What other everyday object out there just deserves a way better manual? I mean, from TV remotes with a million buttons to those weird kitchen gadgets you got as a gift, what's something you own that could really use a clear, simple guide like this one?